Hello and good morning. We are joined today by Christopher Eager, Board Chairman and CEO of Resoro. Ticker is RSM, trades on the TSXV, also trades on the QB and the Frankfurt. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you, Darren. Pleased to be here.
Nice to have you. And Tyros is the flagship project, obviously, of the three. Can you explain to us a little bit about, first of all, that project, but also about titanium to begin with? Tell us about titanium. Why should we care about titanium? And tell us all about the Tyros project and how it all fits in.
Well, the Tyros project is immense, and I've done a lot of search in terms of the size and quality of Tyros in titanium dioxide, and the size and quality of Tyros in terms of grade and tonnage of mixed rare earths, total rare earth oxides. Um, this project, if it was a standalone regolith hosted rare earths project, which will be the projects which are developed and it's similar to what's being mined by the Chinese, etc. Um, we would be the largest and highest grade soft rock rare earths project in the world. But then if you look at titanium dioxide, a typical project that produces titanium dioxide is a beach sands project, which has 1 or 2%, if you're lucky, of TiO2. Our global resource grade is 12%, and our high grade zone is 23%. So you're looking at a project which is the largest titanium project in the world and highest grade, coupled with the largest rare earths deposit in the world, a regolith style, which is the soil style rare earths deposit. Now, the titanium market's interesting at the moment. There's been a huge increase in capacity for titanium pigments, and this is about a $22 billion a year industry. And pigments go into, plastics, paints, fillers, um, and the market grows at about 2.5% compound annual growth rate in line with world GDP growth, because titanium dioxide goes into everything that's produced to provide that pigment. Um, the actual pigment supply and the pigment market is in oversupply at the moment, and prices are a bit depressed. But there's been a real increase in pigment capacity and not enough mine feedstock. So we're in the mine feedstock part of it, which is in demand. The pigment market is in oversupply, so it's not a great market. And then the second aspect of titanium is that we're in discussions with an off-taker based in Texas. And the idea is that we have two products. We have coarse titanium dioxide, which is leached with hydrochloric acid, and it goes to the pigment market. And then we have fine titanium dioxide, which we're working with a couple of research institutes to look at taking that and converting it to titanium metal. And titanium metal is a huge growth market. It's sort of 6 to 8% compound annual growth rate, but it's a much smaller market. And titanium metal, it's used more and more in aerospace because it's lighter, stronger, doesn't corrode, has about a 3,000 degree melting temperature. So it's ideal for high tech applications. There's a lot of new applications for titanium nanoparticles and titanium nanotubes. For example, lithium titronate solid state batteries are one of the most promising technologies that are coming up. Um, Titanium metal can be 3D printed. That's the great increase in the market. So things like prosthetics for artificial hips and knees and things like that, there's a huge demand for that. So we see the titanium metals market as a great market to be in. And there's a couple of new technologies to take titanium dioxide and convert it into titanium metal in a more cost-effective, lower energy, better environmental sort of a process. So traditionally, the vast bulk of titanium metal was exported from Russia as sponge, And of course, there's sanctions on that now. So we do need other supplies. And titanium metal is one of the top of the list of the US government is in terms of the recently announced stockpile, the new metals vault that Trump announced yesterday that the US government wants to build. So rare earth elements, definitely. And one of the big advantages of our project is that we have very high grades of the heavy rare earths in the high grade zone. So we've got high grades of dysprosium and terbium. Obviously, they're not as high as NdPr grades, but they're a significant part of the economics of the project. And
And
that's
in,
what the world is looking for at the moment, dysprosium particularly, and terbium. And there are other ones like yttrium and various other minor rare earths that we have with our deposit, which are now in demand.
for those of us that don't know much about Brazil or the area at all, can you talk a little bit about the jurisdiction that you're in, the area you're in, pro mining, how the local authorities, how's the government, how's your relationship, and talk to us about that.
Well, we're just north of Belo Horizonte, which is the capital city of Minas Gerais. Um, the governor of Belo Horizonte is a entrepreneur, and he's very pro mining, and he's from Araxá. Araxá is near Tiros. It's the town that hosts the largest niobium mine in the world, and that town has been benefit greatly from mining. So our local area, they see the benefits that can come from mining, and they want a piece of that. Um, our area, we can drive to the project. So I can fly 4 hours from Santiago to Belo Horizonte and then about 4 hours drive on highways northwest of Belo Horizonte. We have hydroelectric power. Just to the north of us is this massive Tres Marias hydroelectric scheme. So we've got low carbon, low cost power. We've got highways. We've got supportive communities with ready available workforce. We've got a railway line which goes through the bottom of the project area that goes to a number of deep water ports, so export's easy. And then we have the permitting regime in Brazil is one of the fastest and most efficient permitting regime. So I believe, our area of Minas Gerais, and Minas Gerais means general mines, um, is an ideal place to develop this sort of project. The other thing is that Minas Gerais hosts some of the largest iron ore mines in the world. We have one of AngloGold's major gold mines to the north. We have the Lithium Valley nearby. So there's a big precedent to developing projects. So risk-wise, great place to develop a project. Infrastructure-wise, great place as well.
How about local workforce and the people that work for you there? I wanted to kudos to you. I read something where you had said that you're training your local workforce to be exceed, go above and beyond, exceed and excel, regular protocol. How does all that work, and how's that going?
Well, part of our sort of community development program is that we want to employ as many people, local people, and we have a number of. We're doing it little by little. We don't want to go in and promise the world to people, and then you know and we want to have our feasibility study done, have our finance in place, and then as soon as we have that, then we'll start establishing a training program for technical people. We have great, our operations manager, we've promoted recently from chief geologist to operations, and he's a very well qualified master's geologist who has been on site and now has moved to Belo Horizonte to run operations. We have Jordana, who is our project manager with Progesis, which is a Canadian project management company. She had 7 years in at Cerro Verde, the only operating rare earths mine in Brazil, um, specifically in processing. So she's great for that. So our team, and of course we have Felipe Martins, who's a director of the company, and he also has his mining and environmental law firm in our office. We share an office. Um, so the great thing about being in, you know, a driving distance of Belo Horizonte is that, for example, Olsenco, who's doing our PEA, they have 300 process engineers and people in Belo Horizonte, a short walk from our office. So all the major engineering firms, all the major environmental firms are all based within walking distance of our office. So we're really integrated into the Brazilian community.
And Christopher, these projects don't get done with a smile. Financing, what's been done, what needs to be done, and how are you going forward for 2026?
Well, we're very strong on the financing side in terms of project financing. Anne Landry worked for the Canadian Export Credit Authority. I worked for my in mining project finance for Rothschild. So I've financed 6 greenfields mines in during when I was at Rothschild. Um, where we've gone through a project with the process with the Brazilian Development Bank, BNDES. And I've also been to Washington to speak to Exim Bank. I've spoken to KfW and European Investment Bank about guaranteeing debt facilities for project development. In terms of equity finance, we did a raising in October. When we've put the timetable together for the PFS, we will do another equity financing, hopefully at much higher prices. Um, so I think we've got the financing aspect covered well. And because of my experience with financing projects at Rothschild and also doing other bankable feasibility studies, we're doing this staged approach where we're going to build a the PEA is based on building a 500,000 tons per annum demonstration treatment plant. But because of the very high head grades in titanium and rare earths, we expect that to be a commercially viable plant. And we'll have sort of a 20-year mine life at that scale and then scale up. And we've got enough resource for a 140-year mine life. So it's I think project finance will decide when we do the scale up whether we bring in an equity partner at project level or will be sufficiently, demonstrated sufficient cash flows from the demonstration plant to get a good percentage of debt finance for that.
And in terms of makeup of the stock, um, give us an idea of market cap, how many shares outstanding, and how about insider ownership?
Well, we've got 107 million shares outstanding, fully diluted about 128 million, I think. Um, and our share price is range trading 23, 25 cents at the moment. So that gives us a market cap of sub 30 million Canadian dollars. Our comparables all trading, in the rare earth space, multiples of $100 million. So, I think it's fairly obvious, in my opinion, that we're very undervalued. But what the market is waiting for is our announcement about rare earth extractions and the percentage of extraction that we can get with the flow sheet that we announced, titanium dioxide recoveries and product qualities. Um, that will be the catalyst. And also, we're in the process of strengthening our board as well. So we're bringing on some people who have strong capital markets experience and strong technical experience in leaching.
You got your US DTC eligibility, I think it was last year. How important has that been for you to get onto the QB and get some eyes and ears south of the border on Rosoro?
So far, we haven't capitalized on that. I've done a couple of trips to Florida and also New York. Um, Once again, there's a lot of people who know about the company, and they're on a sort of watching brief. So hopefully, when we see a movement, breaking the trend, that we've got a lot of people watching it.
And 2026 looks like it's starting out is going to continue to be a wonderful year in the critical metal space and certainly for Rosoro. And if anybody needs any more information at all about Rosoro, you can look here at this website. You'll get all the information you need. And Christopher, absolute pleasure meeting you. And again, hope we get a chance to speak again real soon.
Thanks, Darren. It's been a pleasure.